Chosen one, what you're feeling right now is not confusion. It's alignment. That storm inside of you, the restlessness that doesn't let you sit still, the questions that replay in your head over and over. It's not chaos. It's your soul being pulled into position. And the reason it feels so overwhelming is because you've been living out of alignment for so long that the truth almost feels foreign to you. Pause for a moment and hit the like button if this speaks to you, because I promise you, this message is not random. You didn't stumble here by mistake. You were meant to hear this right now. In this exact moment of your life, let me ask you something. Do you ever feel like you're being stretched, like the life you once fit into suddenly feels too small for you? Like you're trying to wear shoes that don't belong to you anymore? That's because your old life, your old patterns, your old circle, they can't contain the expansion of your spirit anymore. You're not losing your mind. You're not broken. You're not stuck. You are aligning, and alignment doesn't come quietly. It shakes the ground you stand on. It pushes people away who aren't supposed to walk with you. It closes doors you thought you needed. It forces you into places you never thought you'd go. Alignment will make you question everything you thought you wanted, until you realize you were only chasing distractions. Listen closely, because this is where many chosen ones miss it. You think confusion means you're lost. But in reality, confusion is the disguise of transformation. The fog in your mind is not to blind you. It's to slow you down long enough to stop walking the wrong way. Because if the path was always clear, you'd never pause to ask yourself, am I even going in the right direction? Think about it. The greatest shifts in your life didn't come in moments of perfect clarity. They came when everything fell apart, when what you thought was stable crumbled beneath your feet, when the people you trusted walked away, when your plan A, B, and C failed. That was not confusion. That was divine interruption. That was the universe breaking you out of the prison of comfort so you could finally step into the power you've been ignoring. And right now, chosen one, you're standing in that exact place your mind says, I don't know what's happening. Your heart says, I feel something bigger is coming. And your spirit says, be still, you're being aligned. This is not the time to panic. This is the time to trust. Let me hit you with something bold. The reason you feel disconnected from the people around you is because you're not meant to connect with them at the level you used to. They can't see what's shifting in you because it's not for them to see. They're not aligned with where you're headed, so stop expecting them to understand the path that was never designed for them. The people who misunderstand you right now, they're proof of your growth. The relationships that suddenly feel heavy, proof of your evolution. The opportunities that no longer excite you, proof of your expansion. That emptiness inside you is not a void. It's space being cleared for what's coming. You see, confusion screams, I'm lost. Alignment whispers, I'm being guided. Which voice are you going to listen to? Let me give you a vision. Imagine standing on the edge of a cliff with fog covering everything. You can't see the ground, you can't see the path. All you feel is the push to move forward. Most people retreat. Most people run back to what feels safe. But chosen ones, you're built to step into the fog. Because you understand something most people don't. The fog doesn't hide danger, it hides destiny. And the moment you step into it, the path begins to reveal itself under your feet. Right now, your soul is telling you that the ground you once walked is no longer stable because you've outgrown it. Your desires are shifting, your energy is shifting, your whole frequency is being recalibrated. That's why you feel restless, why sleep doesn't hit the same, why conversations with certain people feel draining, why silence feels louder than ever. You're not confused. You're aligning with the life that was always meant for you. Let me push this deeper. Have you noticed how you can't tolerate fake energy anymore? How you sense lies before people even speak them? How your body literally resists being in spaces that don't resonate with you? That's alignment. That's your spirit refusing to shrink back into a version of yourself that doesn't fit your future. And let me tell you something raw. Alignment is expensive. It costs you friendships. It costs you comfort. It costs you the approval of people you once wanted to please. But the price of alignment is nothing compared to the cost of staying misaligned. Because staying misaligned costs you your peace, your purpose, your power. And chosen one, you can't afford to lose those anymore. So when you feel that pull, that heaviness in your chest, that sense that something is shifting even though you can't explain it, don't fight it. Don't drown it with distractions. Don't silence it with noise. Sit with it. Listen to it, trust it, because alignment doesn't always speak in logic. Sometimes it speaks in instincts. Sometimes it speaks in gut feelings. Sometimes it speaks in doors slamming shut when you thought they should stay open. And here's what most won't tell you. Alignment often feels like isolation. You'll find yourself spending more time alone. You'll start losing interest in the things that used to excite you. You'll feel like you're walking away from everything familiar. But that's because you are. You're not being punished. You're being prepared. What you feel right now, that tension inside, that is the stretching of your soul making room for what's ahead. And if you can endure this season without running back to what's familiar, you're going to step into a reality that matches your true identity. So, chosen one, I need you to hear me clearly. This is not confusion. This is not chaos. This is not the end. This is the alignment before the acceleration. And if you're still watching this, it means deep down you know I'm talking directly to you. But here's the part most people won't be ready for. Alignment requires surrender. You can't half-step your way into it. You can't hold on to the old life and expect the new one to bloom. You can't keep entertaining the same distractions and expect clarity to find you. At some point, you have to decide, do I want safety or do I want alignment? And that decision, that's what we're stepping into next. Because chosen one, this is the decision point. Safety or alignment, comfort or calling, familiarity or destiny. You can't hold both. And that's why your spirit feels like it's at war with itself. You've been trying to drag your old life into a space that it simply doesn't belong. But the truth is, alignment isn't about dragging the past with you. It's about releasing what no longer resonates so your future can finally breathe. You already know this deep down. That's why the things you used to love feel so empty now. That's why the people you once bent over backward to impress no longer hold weight in your heart. That's why you wake up in the morning with a hunger you can't explain. That's not confusion. That's the signal of alignment telling you it's time to let go. But here's the test, and are you willing to? Because most people never make it through this stage. They cling to the very things that are keeping them stuck. They hold on to dead friendships because they're afraid of loneliness. They hold on to toxic environments because they fear the unknown. They hold on to the old version of themselves because transformation feels too heavy, and so they remain misaligned for the rest of their lives. But you, chosen one, you're different. You wouldn't still be listening to this if you weren't. Something in you knows this message isn't just words. It's confirmation. You've been feeling the pull. You've been sensing the shift, and now it's undeniable. Let me challenge you. What are you still clinging to that you already know is holding you back? Be honest with yourself. Don't sugarcoat it. Is it the relationship you know has expired but you're too afraid to release? Is it the job that drains your soul but feels safe because the paycheck is predictable? Is it the fear of stepping into your gifts because you're worried about what people will think? Whatever it is, understand this. The very thing you're afraid to lose is the chain that's keeping you out of alignment. Here's the twist. When you finally let go, you realize you were never losing. You are being repositioned. Every time you surrender something that isn't aligned, you create space for something greater. And that space? That's where miracles enter. That's where opportunities unfold. That's where your destiny breathes. So the real question isn't, what am I losing? The real question is, what am I making room for? Let me hit you with a truth bomb. You can't pray for alignment and then fight the very shifts that bring it. You can't say, I want clarity, and then resist when doors close. You can't ask for purpose and then cling to distractions. Alignment requires obedience to what your soul already knows, even if your mind doesn't fully understand it yet. And maybe that's where you are right now, in the middle of that tension. Part of you wants to leap. Part of you wants to stay safe. But let me remind you of this. Safety never changed the world. Comfort never birthed greatness. Familiarity never unlocked destiny. Every chosen one who came before you had to make the same choice. Let go of what's easy to step into what's eternal. Look at your own life. You didn't grow the most when things were easy. You grew when you were forced to adapt, when the rug was pulled out from under you, when you had no choice but to evolve. That wasn't punishment. That was preparation. And this moment right here is no different. Now let me ask you something bold. What if the very thing you're calling confusion is the GPS of your soul? What if the uneasiness you feel is your higher self, pulling you away from the counterfeit and toward the authentic? What if the reason you can't find peace in the old life is because your spirit has already moved into the new one, and it's waiting for your body and mind to catch up? Chosen one, that's why nothing makes sense right now. You're existing in the in-between. Your old life doesn't fit and your new life isn't fully here yet. That's alignment at work. You're being recalibrated. And that's why this season requires trust more than logic. Because if you only move when you understand, you'll miss the places that can only be reached by faith. And here's the raw truth. Not everyone will understand your choice. Some will call you crazy. Some will think you're lost. Some will distance themselves from you because they can't handle the vibration you're stepping into. But don't mistake their confusion for your mistake. Their inability to see doesn't cancel your clarity. Their disbelief doesn't erase your destiny. If you wait for the approval of others before you move, you'll die waiting. Alignment isn't a group decision, it's a soul decision. It doesn't require a committee vote. It doesn't require validation. It requires courage. And courage is exactly what's being birthed in you right now. Every time you choose to trust that inner voice instead of the noise around you, you're aligning deeper. Every time you walk away from what doesn't feel right, even when you can't explain why, you're aligning deeper. Every time you honor your soul over your fear, you're aligning deeper. But don't get it twisted. Alignment isn't a one-time event. It's a constant process. Every season of your life will demand a new level of letting go. And with every release, you'll rise higher. With every surrender, you'll gain more clarity. With every act of obedience, you'll step further into the life that was always meant for you. So right now, I want you to pause and reflect. What's one thing you already know is no longer aligned with where you're going? Don't overthink it. The first thing that came to your mind is the answer. Now, what would it look like if you released it today? What if you trusted that in letting it go, something greater would take its place? This isn't theory. This is reality. Every chosen one who has walked this path before you had to make that exact choice. And those who did, they stepped into lives they could have never imagined. And you're on the edge of that same breakthrough. But breakthroughs don't come to those who hesitate. They come to those who leap. So the only question left is, are you ready to leap? Because in part 3, that's exactly what we're stepping into. The moment where the leap becomes unavoidable. Chosen one, the leap is the line that separates those who talk about destiny and those who actually step into it. It's the bridge between intention and transformation. And here's the truth you've probably already felt. The leap never feels logical. It never feels convenient. It never shows you the full landing before you step. That's what makes it a leap. Right now, your spirit is asking you to jump and your mind is demanding guarantees. But alignment doesn't work like that. Alignment whispers, move, and then I'll reveal. Misalignment says, wait until everything is clear. And that's the trap most fall into. They wait, they stall, they hesitate. And by the time they're ready, the moment has passed, but you're different. You're being prepared for the leap. You're being equipped for the unknown. And everything you've been through, every rejection, every betrayal, every closed door was not meant to break you. It was meant to strengthen your legs for this jump. Because the leap you're about to take requires muscles built in the pain you thought would destroy you. Let's be honest. You've already tried staying still. You've already tried ignoring the call. You've already tried fitting yourself back into the old life. Did it work? No, that's why you feel so restless. That's why nothing satisfies you. That's why your spirit keeps nudging you at night when the world is quiet. You're not supposed to stay where you are. You're supposed to leap. And here's the paradox. The leap doesn't just move you forward, it transforms you. The version of you that steps off the ledge is not the same version that lands on the other side. That's why the leap feels terrifying, because part of you knows the old self can't survive it. Think about that for a second. The fear you feel isn't really about the unknown. It's about the death of your old identity. The part of you that was dependent on other people's approval. The part of you that settled for less. The part of you that doubted your own worth. That version cannot come with you. And it knows it. That's why the fear feels so loud, but listen closely. Fear is not the enemy. Fear is just proof that you're standing at the edge of something significant. Fear only screams when you're about to break through. So instead of running from it, use it. Let it be the sign that you're exactly where you're supposed to be. Let me make this personal. You remember the last time you almost leapt? You had the idea. You had the opportunity. You had the fire in your heart. But you stopped. You told yourself you weren't ready. You told yourself you needed more time, more money, more support. And so you waited. And looking back now, you realize you were ready the whole time. You just didn't believe it. This time you can't afford to hesitate. You can't afford to let fear dress itself up as logic. You can't afford to keep postponing the very life that's been waiting for you. Because Chosen One, every day you delay alignment, you delay your breakthrough. Every day you ignore the pull, you silence your own soul. And the longer you do that, the heavier it becomes. That's why this season feels suffocating. Because you're carrying the weight of a destiny that's begging to be lived. And the only way to release that weight is to leap. Let me hit you with something raw. The leap is never about where you're going. It's about who you're becoming. The leap is the surrender of control, the death of fear, the embodiment of faith. The leap proves to the universe that you trust the unseen more than you trust your excuses. And here's the beauty. The leap is always rewarded. Always. It may not happen instantly. It may not look like what you imagined. But the universe does not ignore courage. The moment you step, doors will begin to open. People you've never met will appear. Opportunities you couldn't have orchestrated will find you. Why? Because alignment attracts alignment. The moment you align your actions with your soul, reality begins to bend to match your truth. Pause for a second and let that sink in. Reality itself is waiting for your leap. Reality is not fixed, it responds to you. And that's why you feel like everything around you is falling apart right now. It's not falling apart. It's falling in place, but here's the catch. You'll never experience it until you leap. You can't analyze your way into destiny. You can't research your way into purpose. At some point, you have to trust. So let me ask you directly. What would happen if you leapt right now? If you stopped waiting for the perfect timing, the perfect plan, the perfect support, and you just trusted the pull inside of you? What if the leap itself is the key to unlocking everything you've been waiting for? Here's something most won't tell you. The leap will cost you certainty, but it will give you clarity. Certainty is safe but suffocating. Clarity is risky but liberating. And Chosen One, you weren't built for cages, you were built for freedom. And freedom doesn't come from knowing the whole path. It comes from trusting the first step. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine this. You step off the ledge. At first it feels like you're falling. Fear screams louder than ever. But then something shifts. You realize you're not falling, you're flying. The air that was supposed to break you becomes the very force that carries you. And when you land, you look back and realize the leap wasn't nearly as terrifying as staying stuck was. That's the reality waiting for you. That's the life alignment is trying to pull you into. But it won't force you. It invites you. The leap is a choice only you can make. And right now, the invitation is in front of you. The old life is behind you. The new life is calling you. The only thing standing in between is the leap. So what will you choose? Because in the next moment, we're going to step even deeper into the truth that once you leap, the universe itself begins to rearrange. And that's where the real acceleration begins. Chosen One, when you leap, something mysterious happens. The universe bends. It's like the air itself rearranges to catch you. People call it luck, coincidence, divine timing, but you and I both know it's alignment in action. The moment you stop resisting and finally trust the pull, the whole fabric of reality starts responding to your decision. It feels almost supernatural at first. Doors that were bolted shut suddenly swing open. Conversations you never expected unfold at the exact moment you need them. You'll meet someone by chance who connects you to the very thing you've been searching for. That's not random. That's alignment. But let me warn you, the acceleration that follows the leap doesn't come gently. It comes like a flood. Things you've been praying for suddenly rush in, but so do the tests. Because every new level of alignment comes with a new level of resistance. Not because the universe is against you, but because the old you tries to fight for survival. Pay attention here. When you leap, the first thing that usually happens is loss. You'll notice people falling away faster. You'll notice habits that once comforted you suddenly feel empty. You'll notice the world you built before the leap can no longer hold you. That's not punishment. That's pruning. The dead weight has to be cut off so you can move faster. But alongside the loss, you'll start noticing synchronicities. Little signs that confirm you're exactly where you're supposed to be. A song lyric that hits at the right time. A message you hear twice in two different places. A dream that feels too vivid to ignore. Those are the whispers of alignment guiding you step by step. And here's the key. Don't dismiss them. Don't chalk them up to coincidence. That's how most people miss their path. They ignore the signals because they don't look dramatic enough. But alignment often reveals itself in the subtle before it manifests in the visible. Let me give you an example. Imagine you're walking down a road at night with only a lantern in your hand. That lantern doesn't show you the whole path, only a few steps ahead. But as you walk, more of the road is revealed. That's exactly how alignment works. It doesn't flood you with everything at once. It gives you just enough light to keep moving. The leap activates the lantern. The walk reveals the path. But chosen one, you've got to be prepared for the acceleration. Because once the universe recognizes your trust, it doesn't hold back. Opportunities that were blocked before suddenly find you. Resources that were missing suddenly appear. Relationships that align with your destiny start gravitating toward you. And the crazy part? It almost feels overwhelming, like you can't keep up with how fast things are shifting. That's how you know you're aligned. When it feels bigger than your plan. When it moves faster than your logic. When it scares you in a good way, but don't get comfortable. Alignment is not a one-time leap. It's a constant surrender. Every new door you walk through will ask you again, do you trust me enough to keep going even though you can't see everything yet? Let me drop a mini hook here. What if the delays you once cried over were never delays at all, but perfect synchronization? What if the reason you had to wait so long is because if it came earlier, you would have ruined it with your unprepared hands? Think about it. The universe wasn't late. You were being calibrated, and now that you've leapt, the calibration ends and the acceleration begins. But here's the tension. Acceleration attracts opposition. The brighter your light, the more obvious it becomes in the dark. Don't be surprised if jealousy rises. Don't be shocked if old connections suddenly turn cold. Don't panic when challenges appear right as your breakthrough begins. That's not a sign you're off track. It's a sign you're exactly on it. See, when you're misaligned, you barely stir the waters. But when you're aligned, your presence alone causes waves. People sense it. Environments shift. Even your silence becomes loud. That's why you've always felt different. That's why you've never been able to blend in, no matter how hard you tried. Alignment amplifies your essence, and not everyone can handle it. But listen closely. Do not dim to make others comfortable. Do not shrink so others won't feel insecure. Do not apologize for the acceleration you've been given. You paid for this with pain they never saw. You fought battles in the dark they'll never understand. And now, the alignment that cost you everything is finally carrying you into everything. You can't afford to look back now. Let me ask you, have you noticed how time feels different lately? Like things that once took years are suddenly happening in months, even weeks? That's alignment bending time. When you're out of alignment, everything feels delayed, blocked, stagnant. But when you're in alignment, life speeds up because you're no longer resisting. The current carries you instead of you fighting against it. And here's the wild part. Once you experience this acceleration, you'll never settle for misalignment again. You'll recognize it instantly. You'll feel when something's off. You'll know when you're forcing instead of flowing. Because once you taste the power of alignment, the fake will never satisfy you again. So what does this mean for you right now? It means you can't afford to second-guess yourself anymore. It means when the signs show up, you act. It means when the universe whispers, you listen. It means when opportunities align, you leap again and again and again. Because alignment is not a one-time gift. It's a lifestyle. But let me remind you, it will not always be easy. You'll still face moments of doubt. You'll still face seasons of testing. You'll still face resistance from people who can't understand your path. But the difference now is this: you'll know it's not confusion. You'll recognize it as alignment stretching you into greater capacity. Chosen one, you've stepped into a season where you cannot afford to misinterpret what's happening to you. What looks like loss is actually alignment clearing space. What feels like silence is actually alignment tuning your frequency. What feels like waiting is actually alignment preparing divine timing. And the more you trust this, the faster you accelerate. Because here's the truth. Alignment is not just about you. It's about everyone connected to you. Your leap doesn't just shift your life. It ripples into the lives of those you're called to impact. Your courage gives others permission to be courageous. Your alignment lights the path for others still lost in confusion. So when you hesitate, you're not just holding yourself back. You're delaying everyone who's meant to receive from you. That's why the universe is pushing you so hard right now. It's bigger than you, and in Part 5, we're stepping into that truth. How your alignment becomes a weapon, a ripple, a force that reshapes everything around you. The dream carried you further, and now you felt as though you were floating above an endless cosmic ocean. Its waves were not water, but liquid starlight shimmering in vast ripples that reached across the galaxy. Each crest glittered with colors never seen on Earth. Emerald blues, molten golds, and silvers brighter than the moonlit sea. As you drifted, You realized the ocean was alive. The waves pulsed like a heartbeat, and within them swam beings of pure light, whale-like shapes with translucent bodies moving gracefully through the current of stars. Their voices were not sounds but vibrations, a chorus of tones that resonated in your chest like a lullaby from the dawn of the universe. The aliens who guided your journey explained in whispers. These are the keepers of the flow. They navigate the ocean of starlight, carrying wisdom between galaxies. When a world is ready, they arrive not in ships but in songs. Their resonance awakens dormant memories of harmony in all who hear them. You leaned closer into the dream, and one of the luminous beings swam near. Its massive form curved like a living constellation, and as it passed, you felt it leave something inside you. An imprint of calm, as if your soul had been bathed in serenity. The alien guide's voice returned. To dream of the ocean between stars is to be called to balance. When life on Earth feels heavy, remember the cosmic tide. It flows endlessly and you too are carried by its rhythm. You do not have to swim against it. You are part of it. Slowly the waves lulled you deeper. You could hear the starlight whales singing, their tones weaving together into a soundscape so gentle it erased every trace of earthly worry. You sank into the rhythm, realizing the ocean was carrying you toward another gateway, a shimmering horizon where the cosmic sea touched the shores of a new realm. With each breath, you let go more. With each heartbeat, you trusted the flow, and soon, you reached the horizon, ready to step into the next vision. Beyond the shimmering horizon of the cosmic ocean, you entered a realm so peaceful, it felt like the very blueprint of paradise. You found yourself standing in a vast garden that stretched across the stars, where every flower bloomed with starlight, and every tree grew from roots of radiant energy. The air was weightless yet full, humming with the perfume not of scent but of frequency, tones of harmony that settled into your soul like a lullaby. Each plant was unlike anything on earth. Some flowers unfurled petals made of crystal, refracting entire galaxies within their folds. Others glowed with soft hues, lighting the path as though the garden itself wanted to guide you. Vines of light draped across archways, forming bridges that led deeper into this sanctuary. The alien guide whispered, "This is the celestial garden. Every soul has walked here in dreams before their earthly journey. Here the seeds of destiny are chosen. Each flower represents a path, each tree a memory, each light a possibility waiting to bloom." You wandered slowly, barefoot against soft moss that pulsed with gentle energy. As you touched a nearby blossom, it opened wider, revealing inside not pollen but visions, images of your past, your struggles, your triumphs. The flower seemed to hold your story, reminding you that every step you've taken has been part of something greater. Further along, you saw a towering tree, whose branches stretched endlessly into the sky. Its leaves were silver, swaying in a rhythm that matched the beat of your own heart. The guide explained, "This is the tree of continuum. Its branches connect to every life you have lived, every future you may walk. When you rest beneath it, you remember your wholeness." You sat at its roots, feeling the energy rise up into your body, grounding you yet expanding your awareness beyond the stars. For the first time in a long while, you felt completely safe, completely seen, completely whole. Nearby, beings of gentle radiance tended to the garden. They were not quite human, yet not entirely alien. Their forms shifted like flowing water, their eyes carrying the kindness of countless suns. They smiled as they worked, nurturing the luminous blossoms with gestures of light. One approached you and placed a flower in your hands, a bloom of pure golden energy. The being spoke without words. "This flower is yours. It carries your soul's design. Whenever you feel lost, return to its light and you will remember why you came." You held the flower close, feeling warmth spread through your chest. In that moment, every burden you carried seemed lighter. Every fear dissolved in the radiance. The garden had given you a gift, a reminder that you are not wandering blindly. You are blooming exactly as you were meant to. As you walked onward, the path of glowing vines led you to another archway. Beyond it shimmered a new expanse, waiting to reveal yet another secret of the universe. With your golden flower glowing softly in your hands, you stepped forward, ready to continue the journey.